Hey folks, welcome back to the shop. Well, it's been a little while since I did a video. Before I get into today's video, I just want to have a little bit of a rant, I guess, or whatever. These videos that I make, they're vlog videos. They are not how-to videos. They're not premeditated. I don't plan on doing them and how I'm going to do them or anything like that. And I don't do a whole lot of post-editing, production, or anything like that. They're just off the cuff. Now I've had a few commenters on some of these videos, some of my videos on my RC channel, LaFond RC, saying, "Oh yeah, it seems like you don't know what you're doing, or there's a lot better videos on how to do this," and blah blah blah. Well, that's fine. Go watch those videos. These videos are just a vlog of me working in my shop and showing you what I'm doing. Yeah, sometimes I stumble along, and I am figuring stuff out as I go. But that's just the way they are. If you don't like that style, go elsewhere. And if you're going to be posting silly comments, troll comments, well, I'll just probably block you and possibly even report you. So with that out of the way, let's get on to today's video. What I'm working on is old project. I think I have a video of this on my other channel, LaFond RC. It's a 1999 Scrambler 500. Now what happened was the shaft that runs the oil pump and water pump, there's a gear on there. I don't know if I have the old one here. I think I got rid of some of it. This is part of it. But funny that the gear is pressed on and it spun on the shaft for some unknown reason, and so then the engine was overheating. And luckily it didn't completely kill it, surprisingly. Must have been enough oil getting to it, but got it all back together, back in the chassis. Got a replacement bottom end. I used one from a fella I know for a couple $100. Still using the same head, same cylinder, same piston, same everything else, because there was no damage to the top end. So today's video is on cleaning the carb. This carb is it's a Makuni. It's a CV style carb, constant velocity, so it's got a vacuum doohickey on it. I can't remember what it's called. Is it a BST? Got the, look, a service manual, go figure. But I think it's a BST 40. So they've used these carbs on, yep, there it is. A BST 40. So they use these carbs on older motorcycles and whatnot, but she's pretty filthy, so I figured I might as well give her a good cleaning. Hopefully I won't find any issues with it, but I've only taken one of these carbs apart once, and that was on my Suzuki SV650 to do a rejet on it. So I'll get you up on the stand and we'll get into it and see what we find. Okay, let's dig into this carburetor here. Like I say, this is me just working. And it's been a long time since I've looked at one of these carbs, but the service manual shows everything. Cleaned off a lot of the junk on it, so let's just dig into it. No! So first things first, we're going to take this bowl off. Now this engine ran good. Let me hold on a sec. Just had to close the one door. It's getting a little cool out. So I was saying, this engine ran good before that shaft mucked up. So the carburetor was good, running just fine, but it's been sitting for how long, and probably needs to be cleaned out, because I imagine there was fuel left in the bowl, and that turns to varnish and that. So this is a preventative measure, just in case. Didn't want to start it without at least taking a look. It's not too bad, but you can kind of see that yellow crap in there. That's varnish. And no, I don't have a rebuild kit. I usually get away without them. So if anybody's going to comment on that, well, whatever. Clean them up and put them back together, and most of the time I don't have any problems. So I'm just going to shut up now and you can watch me. Oh, yeah. I don't know if you can see the fuzz on there, but main jet a little bit dirty. Spacer and so on, but let's just get this sucker apart. So this is a vacuum diaphragm, works off the engine's vacuum, so unlike some carbs where you got complete control of the throttle, this one, even if you crack the throttle wide open, boy, might need a new one of those. Whoever put this together mucked it up. It's kind of folded it over. So I'll have to see, I might have to get a new one after all. This diaphragm doesn't look right to me the way it was installed. Yeah. But as I was saying, there's two butterflies in this carb. There's this one, which the throttle cable controls. Or sorry, one butterfly. That's throttle cable controls that. But if you look on the back side, there's also a slide. And that slide, oops, there you go, is controlled by engine vacuum. So you don't really have control, and that's where the needle and everything hangs off of, so you only have partial control of that engine. It's interesting how this was folded. This diaphragm was folded over. That doesn't seem right to me. I'm scared to find out how much one of those is worth. It's still nice and pliable, so I might just give her a little dose of silicone spray and see if we can save it. I'm doing this on the cheap, so. And this spring is what holds the diaphragm from opening too quickly. Just gives a little bit of pressure so the engine vacuum overcomes the pressure. Real quick theory on how they work, I guess, if you're familiar with carbs, but I don't know a whole lot about them, just enough to be dangerous. Just checking to see everything I can pull off of this thing before I put it in the carb clean. I do have some spray, but I have like some clean flow. It's in a metal can that I use that I soak carbs in, and it works 100 times better. Okay, but you got to make sure you try to get all the rubber O-rings and everything off, because they won't survive. Now, if you don't have a service manual, take pictures of what you're doing at the least before you start tearing into one of these, so you, if you're not going to remember where everything goes. This is just a vent line. One of these is the fuel line, and one of them is the vacuum line, if I recall. I can't remember. It's been so long since I took it apart, but this thing really doesn't have any idle screws to adjust, or any set screws that you can adjust on it. There's this screw, which is a bowl drain screw, and so on, but no, I don't see any adjustments or anything that I'm going to need to count turns on. So I guess I'm going to stop the camera now, because this needs to soak in a while. And once it's done soaking, we'll come back and see how it turned out, and we'll throw her back together. So I'll continue the video then. Well, I'm back with the carburetor here. I haven't even started cleaning, and I'm just looking at this diaphragm, and I need to replace it, because as soon as I unfold it, there's a cut in it. So I'm going to have to pause this one for a while. I'm still going to clean it and get what I can done, and then I'm going to have to find a cleaning kit, or sorry, a rebuild kit for this. I wasn't planning on it, but maybe I'll go look on Amazon and see what I can find, because this carb exists for more than just this quad. So in any case, I'm going to call her quits, and there'll be a part 2 of this video. We'll get this back together, and then maybe it'll be a starting video at the same time. So until then, take care and talk to you later. Well, I figured I'd show you the reassembly. Fortunately, I'm not going to be able to put the carb back together until I get a new diaphragm. She's hosed, so I soaked this for a while. Doesn't look like it's clean, but a little bit of carb cleaner and whatnot, and I'll get her clean. Alright folks, so I've got the carb all cleaned up good. I've soaked it, sprayed it, scrubbed it. Got her looking pretty good. Got all the parts kind of sitting here ready to go. Now I'm only can do so much because this diaphragm, where it was folded over, it's bust open, so I need to get a new one of those. But figure I'll still put it all together as much as I can while I'm waiting to order that part. Now, like I say, I soaked this overnight and then I blasted it all out with some clean flow carb cleaner, and then blew out all the passages, made sure everything was clear, including all the small parts, the jets and whatnot. Needle are in there, so let's just get this back together as far as we can. And there you go, one assembled carb that's not going to work because it needs some parts. So once I get the diaphragm, I will put this back to take this apart and put it back together the way it's supposed to be, and we'll get her onto the engine, and hopefully she runs. So stay tuned for that, and until then, take care and talk to you later. It only took, what, 4 years or so, but the old Scrambler 500 is alive and kicking again. So now I just got to get her all back together.